What is good, guys? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's happening with Tesla Spy and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's going on with the overall market moving forward, some big news about the Cybertruck getting recalled, which you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I break down all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a few things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner. Take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Weeble link. I just want to mention that this offer has been extended until the end of June for me, so that's great news. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks. I will not be promoting this after June. So, once again, there's only a couple of days left. That's the last time I'm going to be promoting this. Until then, guys, now let's just talk about what's going on with the markets. So, just to be very, very clear, um, as for Tesla, we're trying to rebound a bit during the pre-market session. We could even push a little bit higher, and I am seeing some signals that suggest that Tesla has a lot of momentum building up. But please note that we're going to have some tough resistance coming up, and there was some negative news, but it's not really affecting Tesla so far during the pre-market session. So, what's going on with the markets? Let's talk about this. Just note that for today, we don't have much important data coming out until 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have consumer confidence, the Richmond Fed manufacturing numbers, and services numbers all coming out at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then we have the Dallas Fed services numbers coming out at 10:30 a.m., followed by some bill auctions and Cook from the Fed giving a speech, which is going to be very minor. But just know that for the first 30 minutes to 1 hour, we have some very important data coming out. I just want to note that this data is going to affect the markets. It's going to be very impactful. I have to be watching to see how this ends up moving, at least moving forward. So I personally think that this will cause some volatility. So get ready for a big move at around 10 a.m. But first, don't forget about more things going on with the markets. We also have some news coming out that the market has been kind of dipping a little bit. It is trying to get led by Nvda back up, but just know that there's no guarantee that this is going to last forever. There's been some new developments going on with new therapies from Novo Dorsic, which is going to be very useful, at least for weight loss and things like that. So they have new uh, products coming out. And we also have Paramount Global, which is hiking its streaming prices. There's been a lot of news about that as well. That's what's making headlines, at least right now, for the overall market, but nothing else that's too crazy. For Tesla, there's big news coming out that it's recalling over 11,000 of the Cybertrucks over a trim detaching and wiper issue. This is very important because this is actually a recall. It's not like an over-the-air software update that's going to fix that. So what's going on is Tesla's describing the problem with the trims around the bed of the Cybertruck that led to the first recall. That's why the Cybertruck is equipped with cosmetic products along the exterior and the trunk bed trim. And in the recent weeks, there were more reports coming out with the part detaching from the Cybertruck's bed. So now it says that it has to, Tesla's saying they have to replace and rework the parts on customer vehicles. At no charge to the customer, Tesla will replace and rework the sail, such as that the assembly meets specifications and ensures sufficient adhesion between every single one of the products and the rails. So it's something that's worth noting. This recall has been affecting Tesla for quite some time. And then there's another recall for the Cybertruck. They confirmed a problem with the Cybertruck's windshield wiper motor. So on the affected vehicles, their front windshield wiper motor controller may stop functioning due to electrical overstress to the gate component. So now they confirmed that all Cybertrucks produced since June 6, 2024, that's 11,688 of them have the issue, and Tesla's working once again to identify the issue and replace the windshield wiper motor on all the Cybertrucks. So this is actually a recall that's going to be going on with the windshield wiper motor and also their trim detaching. That's still something they're working on. All of this to get combined is what's going to be important for the Cybertruck. That's making all the headlines right now. We have the fourth time for two separate part issues. They're going to be continuing to fix these issues. So at least with it, I wouldn't say that this is that serious. It's not like this is that crazy, kind of minor. But this is something that Tesla has to work on, and they are going to have to fix this during a recall. There's also some news coming out that Tesla expects to have a tough quarter for deliveries again. We'll have to see how the numbers look. They're coming out in less than 1 week from now, so I can't wait to see what this leads to. And it's going to be very important. Tesla is trying to push as we approach this time frame. I think that there's going to be a test of 185 all over again. So Tesla's building a lot of momentum as we get up there. If we break that, 188 is going to be our next target. If we end up losing 183, we'll be dipping all the way down to this 180 to 181 area, and then we'll have to see how things kind of go from here. But for now, I am anticipating a little push for Tesla. I think we're going to be testing 185. If this breaks, we could make another attempt for 188, but just be careful as we try to push up because the market could slow down later on. The market's going to likely try to pump too, but just like yesterday, something very similar could happen. SPY is attempting to push a bit as well during this pre-market session. But just so you guys know, on the 4-hour time frame, we have this resistance right here around 544.5. So maybe SPY goes a little bit higher, but we'll have to see if we could break through that or not. If we fail, if we reject off the mid 544s, we could be continuing to sink even lower, all the way back down to 540. So this could just be a temporary pop and then a drop later. As SPY is going to gap up, we have a gap to fill below, and this trend is more bearish. So it's more probable that SPY pushes a bit and then rejects off our 20 EMA and continues to fall lower. That's the most likely possibility. But just to be frank, we have 544 as resistance. We have support at 543. And if we break 544, I'll be looking at 544.5 to 20 EMA. And if we lose 543, I think we could be dipping all the way down to 541. That's where our 50 EMA happens to be. My prediction is we kind of pop a bit to go a little bit higher, then we reject and start dipping lower. That's the most likely possibility in my eyes. Now, the market's rebounding partly thanks to Nvda because it dropped really hard yesterday, 6%, almost 7%. Now it's up about 3%. I think Nvidia is going to try to push a little higher, which will help the market go a bit higher. We could go all the way up towards 124, but then we could reject off our EMAs right here and then continue to dip a little lower as we still have this gap down here to fill. So Nvidia may try to push a little higher, retest the 124 area, then maybe reject around there. So watch for that very, very carefully. Bitcoin's also trying to rebound a little bit. Going to be looking for a test of about 62,200. I think it might be pushing a little bit higher. Then we'll watch and see if we get a rejection from there or not. The triple Q is also trying to rebound a bit, but just like SPY, the 4-hour 20 EMA is going to be a big resistance. We're going to likely test 478.6 as resistance, and we could reject off this. We're trying to hold our 50 EMA, so I was anticipating some buyers would step in, and we could go a little higher. We could actually approach the 478 area, and we'll see if you reject off that or not on the QQQ. I anticipate some upside first before we try to make our move back down, but that's what I find to be more probable. For Apple's doing something very similar. We're retesting 210. We could go to 210 to 212, and then watch to see if we get a rejection off that. I anticipate it's going to go a little higher to 210 to 212, and then we'll see if we end up rejecting and returning back down to 207. So look for a pop and a drop back down. Those are going to be some of the most likely possibilities. For Supermicro could be forming kind of like a head and shoulders like structure, so it might try to push back up towards the 860 to 870 area, and watch and see if we get a rejection after that. So maybe we pop a bit, then reject back down. We end up coming back down to this imbalance at 780, so 800 and 780. So look for a little push to 860 and 870, like around that area, a little pump up, and a rejection, and move right back down towards this imbalance, towards 800 and then 780. Those are going to be very, very strong possibilities. For Coinbase is on a bit of a downtrend, trying to rebound a bit. So if we end up pushing for 220, watch and see if we break that. I think we will test this. If we break this, we could fill the gap for 225 and then reject, or we could reject off 220. I do think it's going to pump to either one of those levels, and then we'll see where it rejects. Amazon's trying to rebound too. It could try to make its way up to 187, and we'll see if we get a rejection or not off that. But just know that Amazon is going to see a little pop. Same thing with Meta. Meta is going to try to kind of consolidate right here between supply and demand. It's still kind of flat. Watch 500 as resistance and support at 494. I think it might pop for 500 to 502, then reject. I find that to be very probable. Microsoft is trying to push. We could be retesting 450 since we're holding our 20 EMA, but watch and see if you reject. It could hit 450 and come back down. And then Google's still consolidating at 181. May continue to consolidate, but I think it might dip towards 179 soon, so I'll be watching for that. That's it, guys. Amzn and GameStop are both kind of flat, not really doing much, but that's pretty much it for my analysis. So that's it for Tesla. Tesla may continue to push a little bit higher, but don't forget about the Cybertruck recall news. It's not affecting Tesla that much. Tesla's going to try to push higher, but make sure you watch resistance at 185 and then 188. And we'll see how Tesla does from here. But with that being said, look for a little push on Tesla, and then we'll see how it ends up reacting to resistance. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you guys very soon on the next one in just a few hours. Thanks, and peace out.